Hi, everybody. It's Monique Pressley. Thanks so much for joining me for the week with Monique. As you might guess, if I had to pick the one topic that is most important for our democracy, for media, for the space that we share together, where I hope you have come to know that you can rely on me for bringing you facts, bringing you data, bringing you, yes, commentary, expert commentary that is based in facts. The one topic this week that informs on all of those things is the announcement yesterday by ABC that it is suspending indefinitely Jimmy Kimmel Live, the show that's hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. And it came on the heels of a couple of jokes, just a few minutes worth of jokes about the President of the United States and about MAGAs in this country's response over the weekend, their desire over the weekend to ensure that an alleged murderer did not belong to their particular political group. Did you notice everything I said and everything I didn't say? If you look at Jimmy Kimmel's monologue, you will find that he was not disrespectful to the person who was deceased, the person who was murdered unjustifiably. He wasn't disrespectful to their family. He wasn't disrespectful to the organization started by that person. Frankly, he wasn't disrespectful to anyone. He may have told the truth about some things, and he may have done that in a way that many found funny. He's a comedian after all. But what he did was get under the very thin, so thin, it's translucent skin of the occupant of the White House. What he did was call out the far right extreme part of our political universe in this country and their desire to not be attached to their own, to not be called out for the problems within their own ranks. And what we have that happened after that is just a simple case of shakedown. I mean, just your run-of-the-mill extortion where the FCC head goes and talks to some people and mentions that maybe ABC shouldn't have their license. Maybe they need to look into them and investigate them. And the next thing you know, ABC, Disney, ESPN, all them, the head of this media company, this powerful media company, decides that the right choice, the right response to this extortion, to this public threat against their company's financial future is to pull the content that offended the president, pull the content that got under his skin. Because the days apparently of being able to say critiques, being able to comment on those in power, being able to dissent, being able to protest, being able to tell a joke are well behind us. There was a time when free speech, free press, all of the things that the First Amendment is about, those were at the highest of importance, highest of the fight for democracy on the right and the left. No matter who you were in this country, you understood, oh no, a man, maybe even a woman, is supposed to be able to say what's on their mind. Are you supposed to be able to threaten, to commit crimes, to cause harm? No. But say something? Absolutely. Even if the thing that you say is hateful, or if it's mean, or if it's surly, or if it's found to be repugnant or disrespectful, yep, you still got to say it. That's one of the things that's in the Constitution of these United States. And it's been case after case after case after case in the legal history of our country where they've decided, oh no, you get to have your say. You may get consequences for what you say, but you get to have your say. Apparently, There are people who don't like that. Occupant of the White House, the minions, the sycophants, they're not interested in all of us regular folk having our say if our say is not something that they want to hear. Now, you can be as repugnant as you want to be, as rude as you want to be, as thoroughly as you want to be, as nasty as you want to be, if you are talking about commonly shared enemies of the people in power. Then you can say whatever you want. You can say that it would be a good idea to euthanize homeless people. You can criticize and make fun of people who are disabled physically or mentally. You can make tasteless jokes about people's color, about their intelligence, about their ability to get jobs or to finish their education. You can call people all kinds of little rude, disrespectful nicknames. You can do any of those things as long as who you're talking about is a common enemy of the people in power. But if you are saying something about them, oh no, oh, you hurt my feelings, it's not allowed. You're supposed to have consequences. But here's what I want you to know. Just a couple of things I want you to understand so that we can all be clear on exactly where we are and exactly why, to me, this is the problem that deserves the week with Monique. Trump did not shelve Jimmy Kimmel's show. The FCC did not indefinitely suspend Jimmy Kimmel's show. Nor did they do what was done to Stephen Colbert, nor did they do what was done to any of the journalists who've been losing their jobs for daring to question this administration. No. The extortion, the threat of action has been sufficient for, in this instance, ABC to shelve its own show, to indefinitely suspend its own content, to punish its own host, and to tank its own bottom line, perhaps, in the process. You see, the real issue that has to be addressed is our obligation to oppose any action that threatens, infringes upon, abridges our constitutional rights, whether it is corporate America or whether it is individuals. The only way we hold on to any semblance of this democracy is if we do the opposite of what ABC did. Brief analogy that I shared when I was on Living Live at 5, when I was on with Don just a bit ago this week. Brief analogy. Dr. Lisa Cook, one of the governors on the Federal Reserve Board, threatened publicly by another one of Trump's minions, then by the President of the United States, and all kinds of non-justified allegations thrown at her, criminal allegations posted on social media about her, told that she should resign by the President of the United States. She could have just gone and found something else to do. Bright, intelligent, capable, experienced woman, educated, professor. She could have found something else to do. She could have just shrugged off her sworn duty to serve this country as a governor on the Federal Reserve Board and said, I don't need this fight. But instead, this lone Black woman, says, no, that's not what I'm doing. Seeks legal advice, hires an attorney, tests the attempts at firing her, resists it, opposes it, files a lawsuit to stop it, and she has been successful so far. So successful that this very day, the Trump administration has gone to the Supreme Court like it's an emergency, asking the Supreme Court to give him permission to fire her because she resisted, because she didn't stand for it, because she has a spine. She opposed the unlawful actions being taken against her. The exact opposite of what ABC did here. It's the kowtowing that will kill democracy. It's the complying in advance that abridges our rights. This is something that we are doing to ourselves, not something that the government is doing to us. Because, as my most favorite vice president in history often said, when we fight, we win. But there's no winning if you don't fight. If you bend the knee beforehand, if you can't locate your spine, ABC, then you've done the job for them. It's been threats, it's been intimidation, where they knew they had no cognizable legal argument. There was no violation of FCC regulation, standards, or laws in Jimmy Kimmel's monologue. And Brendan Carr knew that. The people around the president, if they know anything at all, they knew that. The president doesn't care one way or the other. You don't have to break a law for him to say what he has to say. We need to forget about changing those people. We need to get real serious about protesting, resisting, pushing back, and standing for our rights. That is the only path forward. We don't know if we're going to have a 2026 election or not if we don't fight for it and insist upon it now. We don't know if we're going to have any safe news organizations from mainstream media at all, to the extent that there are any. We don't know if we're going to have that if they don't push back. I mean, you ABC, you CBS, you NBC, you CNN, you MSNBC. Forget about you, Fox. The pushback is all that matters. You know, I'm solution oriented. So you're asking, okay, Monique, what do we do? You do the things I'm always telling you to do. You speak out. If you have a phone, you got the internet, you've got a platform, but you don't just speak out publicly online. You speak out in community. If you know about this that's going on and other things that are happening that are infringing upon our constitutional rights, our liberties, our freedoms, our civil rights, tell the people in your network, in your family, on your block, in your community. Let them know and ask them to speak up about it. The government works for you. Let your elected leaders know that you care about this, that you will not stand for it. And then, as my friend Don always says, the way Kendrick would want us to say it, if you don't like what they're doing on that TV, turn the TV off. There are independent news sources you can trust that are doing the work without fear, without favor, without being beholden to corporate interests, without being beholden to government interests, who are standing flat-footed every day and bringing you the information you need in order to survive in this country. They're doing that work. You can trust those sources. I hope I'm one of them. I sure know Don is one of them. But there are many out here, more and more every day, who you can go to in order to get the news that you need, the expert commentary that you can trust, and to make the decisions you need to make based on that information. If ABC is kowtowing, you don't have to turn ABC on. Same for NBC, same for CBS. You can cancel all those subscriptions. There are things you can do right now. You don't have to wait for somebody to call a boycott. You call your own boycott. You use your own remote. The power is quite literally in your hands. Corporate interests understand dollars. And when they don't get the dollars, they start making sense. We need to bring everybody back to making sense. And the only way to do that is by knowing what we believe and standing for it. Everybody doesn't have to agree. There are more of us than them. It might seem insane right now, and yes, voting has consequences. Have we learned our lesson yet? I sure hope so. If you're not following me, if you're not subscribing to my channel, please do. I'm at Monique Pressley across all social media, and on YouTube, it's the Monique Pressley channel. Please subscribe. Please like the videos that you see. Please share them. It is my honor to be able to serve in this capacity, being a trusted voice in uncertain times. I'll see you next week. But until then, stay safe out there.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.